I know I keep messing with this stuff because the pad goes upstairs with me, but I almost didn't get on here. The wife usually sets me up, and she left about 45 minutes ago to go eat dinner with some friends. They didn't want to stick around during this whole time I'm doing this. And I usually just have them pick me up something, bring it back. I cannot tell you guys, there we go. I cannot tell you guys how excited I am. I'm glad I got these two nights together because I can talk about all different kind of shit tonight. And then mainly Wednesday going to be about softball bats. And I'll talk a little bit about that at the end, but usually on Wednesdays, I'll say Tuesday, Wednesdays, it's going to be about bats and balls and what we have coming out. And what's up, John? Both Johns. And kind of get right into it. We got a few people already. We've been into it for a minute and 30, and we've got more people on here than other podcasters have already. I want to go through a whole bunch of things tonight. It's not as big, 2 pages long. I don't think I got to that 3rd page. No, I did not, but 2 pages long. I want to talk about different things I didn't get to the other night. What's up, Marty? I'll talk about some things I didn't get to the other night. A lot of people, you know, and I know I'm going to get a different group of people that are going to watch on Friday nights, but that's fine with me. I'm going to explain the movement here in a minute on those new people. I actually see, you know, a few new people that actually I've been accepting a lot of friend requests, and I've been seeing a lot of people on YouTube has been getting on board, and the shorts are kicking ass. And what I like about the shorts that we have on YouTube is it'll cut AI will cut up different segments, and they're probably 45 minutes to a 2-minute long. And I actually go through there and pick the ones that I think were really informational, and I'll put those on YouTube. I'll put them everywhere. They actually go out to a lot of Sam. What's up, Sam? A lot of streaming channels. And what I like about that, and I was going through, I probably put up 4 or 5 a day average. And I just get, and I'm like, just right now before I got here, I downloaded Wednesdays, and I'm going to go through there and start putting out. But guys, I can get like 30 on a 2-hour video is what I got today, just now. As a matter of fact, it's loading right now when I got to separate it. So I download the whole video, and then I got to do little 1 minute, 2 minute clips on it. And it gives little talking points in there, and it does most of the work for me. And those have taken off because I'm explaining a lot of things, or Jeff's explaining a lot of things, and it talks about bats, it talks about nutrition, and talks about, like the ones we were doing today was when I was talking about reps. If somebody wants to be a rep, and what do they have to do to get their foot in the door on any bat company, what do they have to do to get their foot in the door to be a good rep? And we just basically, that's John. It's boosting engagement. That's what it's doing. And it goes out to TikTok too, which brings more people into YouTube. I have never seen the surge that we're getting right now. I mean, it's never been this high. It's getting bigger and bigger every 2 days. It's getting huge, man. It's a whole different way of, you know, and I have to credit Leslie for this, you know, and Tammy, because they're big computer nerds, I guess, and they knew that the future AI is the future. I don't care how much you guys like it. There is good and there's bad in it, but AI is the future. I had a few people talking to me, you know, or even my kids, you know, years ago about college, and I have young kids. My kids are young guys. And I have a 21-year-old. He was talking about college, and he was, what direction should he go? And I said AI years ago. Forensics is another one too. DNA, just things like that. I tried to get him to go into, and because I knew that it was going to get big. I knew, if I had money, well, I did it one time to invest years ago. I would have invested it in different things going on right now. AI would be one of them. I have boss man sending stuff to me. All right, that's R&D stuff right now. That was a text message from Jeff Kessler, boss man. He's on the road, and we're talking about a bat, and we're getting the opinion of a lot of the guys that do R&D for us, and they're chiming in right there. And I haven't got the bat yet. I'll talk about the bat later on. And I haven't got the bat yet. Now, there's my food guy. That's my wife and her cousin. And I'm going to say, yes, I do want food. Same thing I get there all the time. Soft tacos. There's this great Mexican food place here down the street. And they have awesome soft tacos. And we're talking about corn, puffy tacos. Hang on, because I'll get this wrong. He'll text back here in a minute. And that's the way to go, I think, for the future. Danny Gonzalez. I think you got Danny Gonzalez says, hey, at least I get to see you on video. I don't get out to hit with you guys much often. I think you were banned. Danny, I think you were banned. Danny is a friend of ours. He actually used to come out and hit with us a lot. I've known Danny. I've known Danny for a long time. Played against him back in the day. Hell of a guy. Danny Gonzalez. I don't know, Danny. You might get invited. I'll take a vote. And see where you stand right now, because I think you were on probation from the last time. Something about pitching. I think you're on probation for the last time, and we'll see how it goes. I'm going to talk about this a little bit too when I get this right here. You guys see that package, right? This is testosterone, cyplinate, which is better than the other ones. Ethanate, and is the other one, but mainly when you go to the doc, that's the one they give you. I just got approved for this, guys. I've been off of it. I've been off of the prescription one for a year and a half, and I've been getting it off the black market. And I think this is the best way to go. You can't fake this shit. This comes from a pharmacy. My doc, because the insurance changed with me, and my doc actually, I got the prescription, so I got all these boxes right here in front of me, and that's the way they used to give it to in a 10 milliliter vial, but now they do this one little one, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But I think the way everything's is going, you got to get on these platforms, and you got to be. Rachel, I think. Zena's sitting there next to you, and she asked you to say that berberine you take, guys. That's a supplement. It's upstairs. I'll show you a picture of it here. I'll send you a picture of it. Berberine, guys, is good for. They call it this. Now listen to this. Berberine. It regulates blood sugar levels in your body, and they actually say that it's the over-the-counter Ozempic, right? Which I don't. Ozempic works in a different way than berberine. I think berberine is for losing weight too. Berberine it's got a bunch of other things that it does for you. But one of them is you'll drop 10 pounds if you take a good quality berberine. It's good for regulating insulin when you don't get the spikes, ups and downs. I took it for a long time. I love it. I think it works. Did I see a big, drop in weight with me? Probably around 6-7 pounds. That's it. Blood pressure. You asking a question, John asked a question about blood pressure. You know what gets my blood pressure down, guys? And I've argued with my doctor about this before, and I know I'm getting off topic, but I do want to talk about this. They've been trying to put me on blood pressure for, guys, a long time. And I tell them I don't want the blood pressure medicine, but they still write the prescription. And my pharmacist will get a hold of me and go, you have, a prescription here for, high blood pressure. And I'm like, I don't want it. You don't understand. So what I did to lower my blood pressure, I cut all my sugars and my refined carbohydrates. I don't do carbs anymore. And guess what? My blood pressure went down quite a bit. I'm not saying, guys, if you have a history, but now listen to me, guys, there is a time where you do have to get on blood pressure medicine. Fucking get on it, because it will save your life. What happens when you have high blood pressure over a long time is your heart tends to work a little harder, which can shorten your life too. So definitely, if you have to get on it, I would do a lot more research. I would get doctors to throw up the red flag when it comes to blood pressure medicine or cholesterol. I would go right straight to my cardiologist on my 1 year, and I would actually walk in there and say, guys, I'm getting these reports with my cardiologist about blood pressure medicine. Can you really check me out? And I did the stress test, the echo, and they're coming back and said, yeah, yours is a little elevated, but it's not worth. And at that time, what I did was, this is what really helped me, guys. And I did it about a month and a half ago, maybe 5 weeks ago. I would say 5 weeks ago, as I cut out carbs. I only eat very little bit of carbs. My diet actually consumes a lot of protein. Brisket, like when like that meal that I ordered right there, I don't eat any of the rice, and I stay away from the beans because the beans can be inflammatory to a person's body. I try to stay where I don't want to inflame anything on my body. So what I do with to lower my blood pressure, sleep apnea can raise your blood pressure too, especially at nighttime. And you bring up a good point there, John. John was talking about waking up 2 or 3 times a night. Listen, guys, if you have sleep apnea, it's just not 2 or 3 times. It's like 60 times an hour. Every time when you nod off, it cuts off the airflow. And you have to get some assistance to do it. I actually think, guys, and I there's no way of me proving this. I think we have lost some seniors in the last 5, 6 years, 10 years. And I think one of the problems, and they talk about they just unknown causes, or they said just natural causes that they just passed away in their sleep. I think it had a lot to do with sleep apnea, because, and I talked about this in the past, and it's easy to get it checked. When I first went in, when mine was diagnosed, when I first went in to get mine, guys, they hooked me up on, I bet I had 100 different tags all over my body, all the way down to my toes. And I laid in the bed, and they had this monitor going, right? And you try to sleep in that stuff, right? And right away they diagnosed me, and mine was severe. And there was so many red flags for a long time that I had it, and then finally I started doing research on it, and I'm going, wow, I need to get this looked at, because it can kill me. It just stresses your heart out every night. You think you're being choked. Snoring is the biggest thing. If you snore, guys, there's a good chance. If you snore hard, there's a good chance you have sleep apnea. Ladies too that are watching this. So I had it checked out, and then what happened was and I have my mask, I have my machine, and then I changed insurance, went to Medicare about in June, 1st of June. They made me retake it again. They made me retake the test, but they sent it home to you. This is not it, but they sent it. What the heck? They sent it home to you in a little case like this, and you put it on your finger and you go to sleep. And then next day you take it back in and they can tell you if you have sleep apnea. It's a lifesaver. John says, extra pounds can compound to it. But guys, there are people that lost weight. That's if you have very small case of sleep apnea, John. The guys that really do snore, it's going to have to take the machine to get, and it's going to have to take the machine to actually get that stuff where you can breathe at night. And here's another thing too about that, guys. If you're on the machine, I've heard this too. If you're on the machine, you keep ripping it off, stay. Guys, it took a long time, a few months for me to leave that machine on my face for all night long, because for one, you're not used to it. Then you have it, John. John said he snores like a freight train. Then you have it. So there is I'm laying there and you put that mask on, and then in the middle of the night, you'll start choking like you just don't understand. It's just like you're choking. So you fling it off, keep putting it on, take it, put it back on, keep doing it, because what it's doing is forcing air down your nose and into your throat. So when you're breathing in it, it's kind of hard to get used to the breathing. Once you go to sleep, guys, you get the best deep sleep that you've had in years just by getting on that CPAP machine. If you're tired in a day, if you're constantly sucking down energy drinks all day long and you just can't get right, you can't get on top, definitely go get it checked when it comes to that sleep apnea. I haven't even started talking about all that stuff. But definitely get it checked out. It can save it can save your life. And I don't believe in a small case of it. You gotta have, if you got sleep, if you stop breathing, guy, if you stop breathing once an hour or once every, you got to get it taken care of, because it still can stress your heart out. When I'm talking about all this stuff too, guys, I want to make something perfectly clear. When I'm talking about all this stuff, the only thing I'm giving you guys, I'm not sitting there talking about this is what I want you to do or this is what you should do. I'm telling you, if you have a problem with your body, you got to be more. Yes, it needs a doctor prescription. Yes, you have to go in and you have to get a doctor to write a script for you. I'm just here as a red flag. That's all I'm here for. If you feel this, go in. I believe that a lot of you knuckleheads don't want to go see a doctor. I think you're afraid of what he might tell you. I really do. I really do think that as men, and this is across the board, all men out there, I think men, they don't want, they don't want to go in and think that they're invincible or 10 foot tall and bulletproof and then something's wrong. I don't believe that. I think that if you go in and you take care of it now, it's better for the longevity. There might be things that you just might have to quit. There might be foods that you just might have to not consume anymore that you have to, cut out the sugars. But we're talking about blood pressure. Cut out the sugars and the carbs. Lower your blood pressure like that. You don't have to get on the pill, for lowering blood pressure and you feel like shit. But guys, if there's a family history of blood pressure, there's some people that just have it and some people that just get it from foods, right? The guys that have it, you got to get on blood pressure medicine, but the weight drop, it helps you, not that much weight on your heart. You're not pumping the bigger men out there, drop some pounds because your heart's pumping to get all that blood flowing through all that mass that you have on you. I've dropped 15 pounds in about a month and a half because I did want to bring my blood pressure down. It wasn't over the top. It was high, but it wasn't over the top. And they tried giving me blood pressure medicine too. And plus, if you get on a good diet where you're not consuming carbs, not consuming sugars, staying away from the Cokes, the Gatorades that have sugar in it, what happens is you start dropping weight, you feel better. and a lot of the other problems will go away. The cholesterol will start dropping on you. A lot of people tend to think that fats cause a high, bacon. I've heard this for years. Cut out the bacon, a little drop of cholesterol. Cholesterol's got a lot to do with sugars and carbs too. It's just, I've eaten bacon most of my life. I love bacon, and I would go and order, guys that eat breakfast with me. I go and order like 20, 6 pieces of bacon, 6 eggs, 6 pieces of bacon, and I eat it, right? There's no carbs in that, right? So that's what I would eat. I've got down to 4 now. I don't eat as much because I don't consume as much right now. So my stomach has gotten a little smaller. I'm eating. But definitely, I'm just letting you guys know this on this Friday night, because on Wednesday, we usually do the bats and stuff, and just a way we can start looking more into, I'm going to talk about working out here in a minute too, look into paying attention to ourselves and stay here a little bit longer on the earth. Because a lot of people be upset if something happens to you guys out there. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, X. We are streaming from 4 different platforms tonight, which is pretty badass. Facebook, I'm gonna kind of share this when I get off too. I'm gonna cut this one into shorts. But what happens on Friday nights, and I kind of knew this, is once softball's going like it is now, a lot of people don't tune in till later on. I seen Rachel on here a few minutes ago. I think they went 1-1. Rachel, I think you guys went 1-1 today. I watched some of your games. Won the first one, lost the second one. But I think it's pool play, so definitely good luck tomorrow on that. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, X. Guys, here's the problem, and I do want this to get out there. Here's the problem, and it's with YouTube too. But I saw it's worse on Facebook. Is 70% of the people that view videos on Facebook don't join. They don't follow, right? Because on Facebook you follow. So all right, I gotta say this, man. Some of the best. If you guys really want to eat good Mexican food in San Antonio, there's only one place. It's Deanna, and it's a family. It's La Hacienda. Her and her husband, Roland, we actually hung out with them. Let me tell you a story about them. Their mom started, and it's a place, and they've got 3 different places in San Antonio. They might be downtown too. God, I can't think of the whole name. It's up Owl Rock. And she said, Deanna wants you to plug a restaurant. Now I gotta plug this girl's restaurant, but she's on TV shows in the morning here in San Antonio as a cook, right? And we're friends with them. So been friends with them for a long time. And Los Barrios, La Hacienda. There you go. Actually, their family's been here for years. Downtown San Antonio, the mom started cooking years ago and opened up a restaurant downtown San Antonio, and they expand the 2. Louis is her brother, and they're always at the restaurants. I am not doing College Station. Asked me if I was going to be at College Station, but Los Barrios, they've been in San Antonio for years. The mom has gone, and the kids run it now, and they're everywhere. And I guess she's there where my wife's at. We're good friends with them. Her and her husband, we go to the rodeo with them every year, and great people. But she's telling me to plug her, and she's all over billboards for Cadillac in San Antonio. She's on morning talk shows talking about cooking and stuff like that, authentic Hispanic Mexican food. Great people, great food, guys. That's a place where I can eat and it doesn't bother me. There are places that, you know, and I talked about this. Anybody that's watching this goes to Taco Bell, guys, please don't get on here and say that that's the best Mexican food place you guys have eaten at, because that place, San Antonio, and I said something about San Antonio, we'll put that, Taco Bell to shame, and somebody chimed in, well, Laredo too. Well, anywhere from you get, this is just my opinion, anywhere you get from North San Antonio, I'm not talking about Austin. Austin actually is not that good either. Sorry, guys. Anywhere you get north of San Antonio, south, the more south you get, that is some badass food. La Hacienda, Los Barrios, that is the name. Go there and eat. Tell them ask for the owner and tell them you know me. Go in there and eat. Great food. You will not disappoint. Great margaritas too, but it will not disappoint you. 70% of viewers do not follow. And I don't understand that, because if you follow, you get notifications. YouTube, it actually has gotten better. I remember when mine was like, it was nobody follow me on YouTube. Now it's like up to 60% are following. It used to be 30%. Now it's 60% are following that actually watch it and not join it. And it's just so easy to freaking join it. I was looking at my kind of went out a little bit, but it's so easy to join when you're on YouTube. It takes nothing to join. Get on there and find out how to join YouTube. There's so many. God, I go to YouTube for everything. I've been a mechanic most of my life, right? But only on my cars. I wasn't a mechanic, shapey. I don't. I work on cars here for the family because I know what they charge you. Brake job for $700. I can do it for $35. I changing out thermostats, checking out starters for my son's Jeep outside, stuff like that. It just that it's turned into with mechanics where guys, they'll gouge the shit out of you. I'm trying to keep it down. I don't want to get any suspensions. There was a lot of suspensions that were handed out yesterday, and I don't want to be one of them again. I almost got there. But what happened with YouTube is everybody started to squirrel moment. Everybody started to join. Everybody just wasn't scrolling by. A lot of people started to join. And plus you get notifications on YouTube. Let me talk about the movement real fast, but I don't want to get too far into it. I've already been on for 27 minutes. And I don't want to get too far about the movement. But basically what Shore Porch does is like fitting you for golf clubs. And it's so funny because last night I was watching this series and it was about a kid golfer. And this guy, ex-golfer, comes up that had trouble. And they're fitting this kid because they looked through all of his bag. And the kid he's got clubs in his bag from just people playing golf out on the course that left their clubs there. So this kid would go and play golf after hours, and he would just pick up whoever left there and just put them in his bag. And, and he had the whole set. And the pro was telling him, oh my God, I cannot believe you actually play with these. So they got him in, they fitted him. They got him in there, had him take some swings, and they fitted him with some golf clubs, and his performance went up. Basically, that's what we want to do. We want to put you guys in the clubs, put you guys in the bats that actually will increase your performance because it fits your swing. You can't put, it's not no longer one size fits all. You had a lot of guys back in the day, pros get up there with that 100-mile-an-hour bat speed, 95-mile-an-hour bat speed, and they get up there and they hit the ball 500 feet, and all of a sudden they try to sell you that bat. Well, you ain't him. And that bat will not perform because you don't have no 95, 100-mile-an-hour bat speed. You're not going to collapse that wall. He can. So that's how come we preach softness, soft, medium, and hard. Weight distribution has a lot to do with it too. I was asked the other day on Wednesday, if you have two bats, I don't want to go into as far as I'm going to give a lot of people that watch this, other bat companies. If you have two bats from different bat companies that have 170 compression, are they going to perform the same? No, they're not. They're not going to perform the same. There's so many equations, so many formulas that go into making a bat perform. It's just not compression. right? Who is swinging at a bat? You know, you can grab a guy that's, you know, maybe a bat's at 160. You can grab a guy that's got 95-mile-an-hour bat speed. He will not get as good a performance on that bat. You know, I'm not saying you're going to out hit him if you got lower bat speed. I'm just saying that bat will perform for you better because you're not imploding that wall. Basically, that's what we try to do. That's what we're talking about, the movement. Everybody in here needs to know what their compression level is. Everybody in here that's watching needs to know what their bat speed is. Everybody in here needs to know what your weight distribution, your good weight distribution number is. And then we can fit you with a bat. You can go to a website that I actually got numbers up there, and there will be more this weekend because I'll be doing that most of the weekend. There'll be numbers on that website that will fit you closest, that will fit you into a bat that we have on our main website. It's shortporchcuttingedge.com. That is the one that I'm building. I'm working on it. I'm putting them in different categories. I'm having reviews on there. I'm having compression numbers at the beginning. A lot of our bats compression test either on our senior side. A lot of our bats compression test at 200, and there's some that compression test at 220, 225. 225, a little harder barrel, take her longer to get there. Our grip spin actually takes a little bit longer to get there because you do have an extra layer of that grip spin. It doesn't hamper the performance. It actually makes the bat a little bit more durable, lasts a little longer, but takes a little bit longer to get there, but performs the same. We have two different I would say layers of carbon. We got a tri-layer. And we have the other layer is a regular. I'm not going to tell you how many layers it is because it's giving too much information. There's a lot more than a tri-layer. But we have the tri-layer, which is the OG barrel. You guys, we talked about the OG barrel. That barrel makes a distinct sound. It does not change that sound. Somebody said the other way, it sounds like a Dudley. No, it doesn't. Doesn't sound like a Dudley. I'm talking about the Dudley from recent, the retro Dudley from recent, last year, 2 years ago. Somebody said the Party Time. It does not. Party Time makes a ceramic sound. This is not a ceramic sound. It's like a clack sound. Ceramic sounds different. It's higher pitch, I think. I did a review on those bats. So somebody said it sounds like the Party Time. No, it does not. Party Time's stiff as shit. Those bats were at that time. I don't know about the new ones. Don't quote me on that. I ain't been in the game that long. A year and a half ago. So that sound changes into a big shotgun going off sound. If you guys have swung any of the OGs blackouts, talk about the OG blackouts. You swung any of the OG blackouts, you know what I'm talking about. You put about, and that's hot out of the wrapper, guys. You can grab that bat and game it if your bat speed's above 70 miles an hour. The ladies will get performance on it, but they got to put at least, the ladies, I think, about 50 swings on it. That's not a lot either. That's a one round of BP for the ladies. And again, break it in like all the other bats will tell you about breaking it in. Don't wear it out. Anybody that's watching this that has anything to do with short porch should be wearing their bats out when they go to bat practice. And I know they're top tier bats and they perform, but a lot of you guys get up there, a lot of you ladies get up there and love the way it performs, and you won't stop. You just won't put it down. 15 swings. Every one of my bats, I have two of them. Always have two. I'll swing it 15 times. I'll put it down and let it rest out of the sun. Do not lay your bat. It was 100 degrees today here. I'll be damned if you see any of my guys laying their bat in 100-degree weather. Heats that barrel up, We've taken our bats, guys. We've taken our bats. We've had them in the shade, compression tested them after, right? We hit with them, take them home. They'll get more compression when we put them in the house. They'll come out as more compression. My number is average 5.5 pounds that it'll gain on me when we take it home. So 5-6 pounds of pressure, compression testing when we get it home. Now it's different, right? On the regular Kevlar, not the tri-layer on the Kevlar. I haven't done the tri-layer yet. I got it when we finished. I think it gets more. I think it actually comes back stronger. So definitely, I need to quit reading you guys shit because I get off track here. But anyway, the OG makes a distinct sound, hot out of the wrapper. Guys can game it, with that higher bat speed. And this is the bat that we always have in the warehouse. We have them in the warehouse now. So it's a bat that we'll always have, and you guys can order them. Just go up there. I know before Vegas, you guys are going to want a lot of those bats to get ready for Vegas. Or if you guys are the tournaments that are coming up, there's tournaments this weekend. Tournaments next weekend, there's tournaments. Yeah, that's why, guys, you got to understand, man. Let me explain you just me. This is me. And I don't watch Clem and Trey enough, but I know they do it too because I've taught them to do this. I baby my shit. My bats are not abused. My bats are never left in my car or my truck. Never. And I get even worried when I stop and eat breakfast in the morning for 45 minutes and my bat is sitting in the truck. I've got a big bat case that actually helps me out too, and it does stay cool in there. That I stick all my bats in and I put them in there. I don't leave in the back of the truck. I put them in the truck, I've done this at 105 degrees in San Antonio. I left my truck running and left my bat in there. That's how I baby my shit. I'm not like these other guys that abuse their shit. I baby my shit. I take 15 swings, throw it to the side, let it cool down. 20 minutes later, I pick it up again and I'll hit it again. 20 minutes later, I'll get my swings in on it. And then that's my gamer because I compression tested on what my compression testing levels are. And then I go and hit another one. The same size. I don't drop down in weight. I don't go up in weight. I stay with the same weight. I always said this too. If you have to drop down in weight on a Sunday in finals, or Saturday night finals, you're not swinging the right bat. You need to just drop down in weight, not swing to 27. Take the 26 in the battle. Get you to 26. It's just so many. With short porch, not so much, but you still have weight distribution on other bat companies that weigh their bats totally different than what we do. And this is the guys I'm talking to that aren't, because I have a lot of guys, right? And there's going to be a lot of people watching this. If you don't belong to short porch, you cannot go up and down in weight. Because all the weight distribution, and I have them, they're in a file somewhere for the last 15 years of all the weight distribution numbers of every bat company, every model that has been out there. I have those. That's how come I know all this. So when you go up and down in weight, they're changing hand weights, they're changing in weights, all that shit. We don't do that. So definitely stay away from that. Just stay with one weight. Get out there and hit it. You shouldn't be tired going into Sunday or Saturday night. If you're tired, something's wrong. You're dehydrated. I've done that too. I've put packs in my. Bob Downs just said exactly what I've done before too. He puts gel packs in with his back case. That's how anal we are. I mean, Bob's anal too about it, but that's how anal we are when it comes to that. That's what I do, and I don't let anybody else swing my shit. You can see, and whenever we're hitting, I kind of joke around. I said that goes over there, and I'll throw it over there. That's how I treat. You ain't touching my shit anymore. That's how anal I am, because I know how much damage could be done if you let other people swing your shit, and their bat speed's not like your bat speed. I definitely would. I told Murray the other day, you ain't swinging my shit, Murray. Don't swing that one, Murray. Swing this other one. Because that one was mine. It was just sitting out there. Because Murray swings faster than me. I don't want him to damage my shit. Now, disrespect toward Murray, he's a freak. I've said this too in the past. I don't let the freak guys that hit with me hit my bat. Clem especially. I don't let Clem hit my bat either. Trey does not hit my bat. Trey's a square ball hitter. I don't want him to damage my bat because he's a square ball hitter. But more of a cutter, I would probably let him do it. But he's not a cutter. He's a square ball hitter. He'll tell you that. So the movement, get back to that, the movement, exactly what we're trying to do is fit guys into bats, kind of like getting golf clubs, bat speed. There's so many different things that go into choosing a bat. So, and we have everything out there. The shorts will tell you everything. Just get in with the shorts and they'll tell you everything. Um, I talked about bat reps last week. If you guys want to look through those shorts, you can actually see me talking about them. You got to be a good person. You can't be a jackass. There's so many, so many people out there that will do videos just to get attention, or do videos just to look at me, or do videos talking about how they're the greatest in the world. And those are not the people we're looking for, humble people that want to help you and that will put in the time to help you. But the one thing, and I'll just leave it because I did talk about it extensively last Wednesday, was you guys got to get a social media page. You got to get something going. I've got so many social media groups and pages, make your head spin, because I do want to get the word out. And I've done it for 15 years, even when I was doing the senior softball bat reviews for 15 years. So if you want to be a rep, to get your foot in the door, it's hard when you guys call us up and says, hey, I want to be a rep. We don't even know who you are. We track you on social media and haven't seen you anywhere, so it's just so hard because we don't see you hit, and I've had guys post videos, but that's just a little small 15-second clip of you taking a couple of swings. We haven't heard you talk either, because if you're going to be a rep for us, or a factory hitter for us, you got to talk, and you got to be kind. It's how come that is just so hard in today's age, that you got to tell somebody that they got to be kind. But I shouldn't say today's age, because there's been a lot of guys out there that have been a-holes that I played against or I played with in the past 40, 45 years. I think I've been doing this, playing ball. And that just, I'm shaking my head going, wow. But yeah, definitely. You can do it. It's just going to take, look how long it took me, and I never gave up. I got there in front of, put my ass on the line to get in front. Because anytime you get in front of this camera right here, see this camera? Anytime you get in front of this camera, you're putting your ass on the line to get criticized for shit, anytime you get out, take some BP, there's always that jackass that's going to say something about your weight, your height, your swing, or what your exit velo is. Guys used to ask me, what's your exit velo? Ain't none of your business. What's your bat speed? Ain't none of your business. I can talk about it, but your bat speed's not mine. So what do you got to know for? Because I know there'll be some people going, wow, that's pretty good for your age. And then some people going, oh, you suck. I don't want to give them ammo. So I just say, it doesn't matter with me. You're not going to choose a bat because my exit velo is, 100, which it's not. But I'm just saying my exit velo is 100. How's that make you choose a bat? It's not. What's your exit velo? So I never would respond, even when I senior softball bat reviews. Dave, what is your bat speed? I know what it is, but that's just for me to choose my bats, because I know if I say something, there's going to be some warrior out there with a computer, oh my God, you got a slow bat speed. Okay. I don't want to give him fuel, so I usually don't say anything. Plus it really doesn't matter, because that's me. And what we're trying to preach here is your bat speed is different. Your bat speed is different than mine. You're not trying to fit me with a bat. I'm trying to fit you with a bat. Oh, that freaking missed. Let me give you guys a rundown on how I've always done something. Preparing for a tournament. This is like the educational Friday night. So let me tell you guys how I do this. Because I work out, and I always have when I play ball. Always worked out when I could, when I wasn't hurt. So what I usually do in my regiment, and it changed over the years when I started applying this, I was 29 years old, 30, 31, 32. That was my best years. From 32 to 40 were my best years, my prime years in softball. I was at my peak, 205 pounds and just ripping it, right? And I'm going to tell you what my regiment was back then. My last day to work out was Monday before a big tournament. Monday, and then I had all those days in between Monday to that Friday, because back then we didn't play Friday mornings, Friday afternoons. We played Saturday morning and then ran it all into Sunday night. So what I would do is my last workout day would be on Monday, and I'd have before this, I would work out 4 times a week. But I knew, right, I'd take Monday morning. I knew I was going out of town that weekend. And then I would stretch on Tuesday, very light stretch on Tuesday, hit on Wednesday and Thursday, right? I'm not talking about hitting 150 balls. I'm talking about taking out there and taking, 3 or 4 cuts of 15. Because I've already been training up to this point. I'm not trying to get into a shape. I'm actually getting my body loose and getting my muscle memory tuned in, right? Because now I'm loose. I don't have to fight any kind of tightness or fit. Everything's not going to, I'm eating right. I'm cutting out on carbs, not too much. And I pitched a lot back then. So I knew what I can consume. Everybody's different. I knew what I could consume going into the tournament and not get fatigued. Right. And during this time, that Wednesday, we would hit on Wednesday no later than Wednesday. So what did I do on Thursday and Friday? I relaxed. I wouldn't even mow the grass. I would just relax. I would take naps during the day, if I could, or I'd go to bed, hydrate. Yeah. I would go, I'm getting to that, Marty. So I would go and when I was working, I'd go to bed early on Wednesday night, Thursday night, and then usually we'd drive on Friday in the afternoon and go to the tournament or fly, whatever we had to do. And all those days I'd be going in bed early, waking up, at the same time in the morning, usually around 7:30. And I would stretch every day. I mean, I was, because I wanted to be that guy, right? I wanted to be at my top of my peak. And I would do all these little things, hydrate, guys. You would not believe, if you get dehydrated, you're done. You're done for the tournament, because it's going to take you 24 to 48 hours to get hydrated again, unless you got an IV person that's going to do it down the street when you're at a tournament. That'll get you there faster, a few hours. I would relax. I would not drink. I'm not a big drinker anyway. I don't drink beer, and I don't drink mixed drinks. Every once in a while, I kind of relax and unwind and drink one when I'm out dancing with the wife, but that's it. And I'm talking about 1 or 2, no more than 2. So I don't like being when I'm with the family. I don't like being in a position where I cannot defend myself or handle myself, because I don't know. I mean, we go to bars and a bunch of rednecks at a bar, and I don't know how they're going to act. So, so I kind of want to be in my form, my peak form, where I can defend myself. Being drunk ain't it, or being intoxicated ain't it. So that's one of the reasons. John, I'm going to talk about you here in a minute, but John Robbins. And I think you know what we're going to talk about. So stick with me here. So what I would do is, my workouts during the season are different than my workouts in the off season. My workouts during the season are 40% of my max, and it's more of a speed workout, a quick movement. Softball is explosive movement. So you're not going to train yourself like a marathon runner, right? You're going to train yourself like a sprinter, explosiveness. I'm talking about the muscle groups. So when you're on the bench, boom, you're exploding the weight up. You're all doing closed grip. Don't do any wide grip, guys. You don't work your tits. You don't work your chest. I have no chest at all. So what you want to do is, you want to bring your arms in, bring your hands in, and everything's right off the smooth of the bar. If you're doing dumbbells, pull them this way. Don't flare out. Bringing the chest into movement there, right? See my elbows? Right? You don't want to do your front shoulders either. You don't want to do your tits. You can work the inside of your tits. You can see that. When I say tits, don't be offended when I say that. but you inside of your chest, your pecs, right? You don't use these to hit a softball. These actually tie you up a little bit. And then please don't do any dumbbell workouts. I get so mad, and I don't say anything when I see softball players doing reps with their dumbbells. I do hammers, with your hands this way. I'll do hammers with dumbbells, but that's working this front part and a little bit right in here, but it's working this wrist, this front part. Guys, your biceps don't do anything to hit a fucking softball. They don't. They look good on the beach though. They don't do anything for hitting a softball. They actually impinge you a little bit. So when you extend, right? You extend. You're not like my biceps are not. I mean, they're not big because I don't work them. Only when I'm doing rows, I'll work them. But you want this to extend. You don't want it to be up here. You want it to extend. So what happens when you do biceps? You shorten this a little bit. Not talking about a lot. You just shorten it a little bit. You want to extend when you're swinging. So these are just little things that I was taught. I wasn't taught by him personally, but I did the Lewis Simmons conjugate system. I did all the explosive movements that he did. So I tied that in. I couldn't do all of it, but I kind of fixed his workout routine for softball players. And I did it that way. Everything explosive movements. Everything what I did with rows was explosive movements. You use your traps quite a bit when you're hitting too. I don't know if you guys know that. You use your traps. They call it PEX. I'd say, okay, here's the deal. Donnie King chimed in. Here's the deal with that. Dude, I'm older than you. So I'm talking about these workout routines, they're when I was growing up. You're a different generation than me. Like he said, PDX is what they're calling it now. Plyometrics, or I don't know what the hell. But dude, exactly. If that's what it is, everything's an explosive movement. Even with your rows, you're popping them back, right? Speed. Now I'm talking about speed with 800 pounds on the damn thing. Speed with a lighter weight, 40%. That's during the season. Off season, I try to gain strength, man, in the off season. I try to get stronger than I was. Guys, I don't swing a heavy bat in the off season. A lot of you guys talk about swinging a big old heavy bat. What I did back in the day was Mike Masenko had a workout routine with a bat that would increase bat speed. Now, here's what I did with that. I took the heavyweight out. I did his speed routine with a wiffle bat, one of them little round yellow wiffle bats, about that big around. And I did his speed routine with a wiffle bat, and I increased bat speed with his wiffle bat. I took a wiffle bat, and I took a bat and popped the cap out of it, because if you remember, those were aluminum bats back in the day. So I would either cut the cap off or I popped the cap out of it, and I would swing that thing with nothing in it, right? Because if you think about it, you don't want to teach your muscles to move slow. You want to teach them to move fast. So what will a wiffle bat do? It does that. It fires off. Even a bat without an end cap on it will fire off. When you're swinging it, you're simulating your swing, and boom, you're just firing off on it. You use the same muscles in softball. So I've got all kind of shit when it comes to that. But I definitely... that John reading John Robbins, what he talks about. Read these guys. Building triceps. What about building triceps? Closed grip bench. Here's my tricep routine, right? Twice a week is I do a speed bench with 9 sets, 3 reps, 40% of my max. Closed grip. You know what closed grip does to your triceps? Tremendous strength in your triceps. Builds a little bit of forearm too, right? So closed grip everything. And then I do dumbbells. I usually do a lot of dumbbell work, right? Because I think it isolates each shoulder. So what I do is on my back, I'll grab dumbbells like this and I'll lay on the bench and I'll do extensions, right? I'll do the extensions over my head. And then I do skull crushers with a Olympic bar. And I'll bring the skull. It's called Paul Dix. You ever guys look it up? Paul Dix, right? I'm going to give you some names. You guys need to look at, and this will build Al Roth. Listen to what I'm saying. Paul Dix. He's a power lifter from back in the day. I did his routine for years. That builds tremendous strength in your triceps. There's another one too called Dave Tate. You guys heard him. It's called Tate raises, where he gets dumbbells and he brings them in up across your chest, and you got to pop them like that, right? And when everything you throw with a dumbbell, you pop your wrist at the end. So you'll pop them. Yeah, but you look where you live, Donnie. Donnie says you're 1 year older than me, but look where you live, Donnie. You live in a cattle town. Oh man, you know I had to say that, Donnie. Donnie King's up here getting. He said I'm 1 year older than him. So anyway, but here's the deal. I stayed with Lou Simmons all the way around. But anyway, Dave Tate. It's called Tate raises. Look at his shit. I mean, that was some badass. That puts tremendous stress. You know where you get your power from? This is another thing too. You know where you get your power from? It's the bottom end of your tricep, not your big head, right? So a lot of your power comes with benching. That's how come I do close grip, because I learned this in powerlifting. A lot of your strength comes from swinging and your bottom of your tricep. If you guys can, which I know a lot of seniors can't, is one of the best exercises for softball is dips. Now, if you can get assisted dips, that's even better. So if you, Al Roth, I don't even know what you're saying, but all these exercises, Bob, Al Roth is saying, hey, is that good for softball swings? Everything I'm telling you is good for softball swings. I don't do anything, any kind of workout routine that is not good for softball routine. I can care less what I look like at the beach. I really do, you know. But every routine that I do is for softball. Close grip bench will work your forearms tremendously. I don't do any kind of this in the forearms. I don't do any kind of that on the forearms. All mine is done and put in there with close grip, right? Tate raises. Look at that too. Go on YouTube, Tate raises. Paul Dix, that one too. If you guys mix those into as assistant routine with your regular bench and do 8 sets of 3 reps with 40% of your max on the bar, you get back in it. I'm talking about 40. Look at Lou Simmons' workout routines, and that's basically what I do. Except for I kind of back off on it a little bit because of my age. But I got a workout routine that I put everything together. I got it all written down. So what it is just bringing you go and close grip to the smooth part, a little past the smooth part, an inch past the smooth part, and you're bringing that. Don't ever do a negative. Don't do a negative. You're bringing it down and blowing it up off your chest, 3 reps and then rack it. Every 30. Here's another thing. You guys think it's easy. Oh, 3 reps, Dave, for what 9 sets or 8 sets, whatever you're doing on there. Well, shit, you know what you're doing? You do them every 30 seconds for the first 6, and then a minute after from 6, 7, 8, 9. So you're doing them a minute after that. So up to 6, then to 9, half of a minute, 30 seconds, and then move it to a minute, and then 60 seconds, and see how tough you are then, right? And if it's not taxing, because you guys that worked out, if you're not taxing enough, then do it 30 seconds rest time. 30 seconds rest time all the way. If it gets kicking your ass, take the 30 seconds off, do a minute rest time, right? Just for beginners, I would start off at a minute. And then it's all explosive movements. So you're firing off. You want to fire off what builds white muscle fiber, because you don't want to build dark muscle fiber. You want to build white muscle fiber. So what you're going to do is explosive. Everything's explosive. Everything that you do is explosive. Don't get up there and act like when you're hitting BP, everything is bah. It's not tennis, guys. You want to increase your bat speed? Get up there off season, right? Take a bat. I can't show that one. Take a bat, right? Pop that cap out of there, of that bat. It's going to take probably 3-4 ounces out of that end, right? Take this bat and hit it off a tee as fast as you can. You guys might think that you're not doing. I have a gym right on the other side of this door right here. John was asking, do you do home gym or do you go to a facility? I've done both. When I'm out of town playing and like, okay, here's the deal. I'll be in Vegas in September. I'll be going to the gym in the hotel or anywhere I can find a gym. I'll be going to the gym because I can't do 21 days, 22 days in Vegas without hitting the gym. It doesn't take long, 3 weeks of being off something that you start to lose it. But yeah, I'll go to the gym, and it's right. Mine is right here. I've got a universal machine where I do lats, and then I got a Olympic bench machine, a powerlifting bench machine that I do all my, and I do Olympic weight and everything. But take the end cap out of this, practice with this in the off season, and just push it as hard as you can when you're hitting off a tee, or hell, even when you're taking BP, get up there and whack. It creates white muscle fiber. You don't want to be acting like a tennis racket. You don't want to get up there and just. You guys want to increase bat speed? I'm telling you a way to increase bat speed. And I guarantee you, because we're seniors, your bat speed will diminish as you get older. So I can go into that shit. I can go into that shit. Donnie, I know you're fucking with me. I'm fucking with you too. But I can talk for days when it comes to workouts because I've done all of them. I've tested them. I've got papers on workouts that I've done my own personal papers on them too, on how I can get bigger, stronger, faster. Back in my early 30s. I was 29, 30. And guys, it made me out of a freaking monster. You know, I was loose. I wasn't tight because of I wasn't putting pounds. I wasn't that guy in the gym that was pumping 405. I wasn't that guy. Could I do it? Yeah, but I wasn't that guy. I would take 220, 225, you know, and then I would pump that as fast as I could. You know, I didn't care about what people thought of me. I was that guy that had that big ego that go into the gym and say, everybody, look, I'm going to pump up 4 plates on each side. I didn't do that. Or no, did I desire to do that? I would rep the shit out of 315 though. But that, again, that's explosive movement. That's part of my workout routine. It wasn't 405, you know, and I only achieved that to get my max. That's the only thing I did. That know what my 40% came up, my 30%, 40% came off when I start the season. So definitely, if you guys want to increase, it's all light. It's not heavy anymore like it used to be. It's all light, and fast. God dang, I've done all of those, man. When you guys, this is another thing too. If you guys out there, and I know a few of you guys will watch this later on. If you're out there, guys, and you, this is the prime example. Right here. This is a brand new bat. Roberto Manaya, right here. You can tell it's brand new in the wrapper. So what I see is this. I see a lot of you guys out there, and you want to showcase a bat. So what you do is you get on camera and go, look what we're going to do. We're going to take this bat out of the wrapper, and they show you peeling it, right? You got to show them peeling it to let them know that it's new out of the wrapper. Me is watching this, and I never did this in a bat review, but me is watching this. I don't give a shit if the bat has 150 swings on it. You ain't going to impress me with a brand new bat and see how far you can hit it. That don't mean shit to me. I want to see what that bat does at 300 swings, 150 swings. So guys, if you're trying to demo a bat, or if you're a bat rep and you pull a bat out of the wrapper, that doesn't do anything for me. What that tells me, I say, I got to watch this guy for 20 minutes of that bat not performing, because there's only a handful of bats out there that perform hot out of the wrapper, and they still get hotter. It's not its peak performance. I don't give a shit what bat it is. It's not its peak performance on 1 or 2 or 3 swings. Got to open up a sweet spot on it. I'd rather see video on that sweet spot being opened up 150 to 250 swings. So guys, quit pulling it out of the wrapper, because I turn the video off. I'm like, okay, I don't want to see this guy miss hit balls that don't go. I want to see him miss hit balls that go a long way. I don't see him miss hit balls because the barrel's not broke in, you know, and then hear you talk about it. And that's just future reference on our guys that want to do this. It makes for bad video. Explain to the people. 100% of the people don't think you're lying anyway. So explain to the people, I've got 200 swings on this bat. Now we're going to see what it does. I said, shit, I'm going to watch this video. I want to see what this bat, I want to see what this bat does. I'm going to watch it. But once you say I'm pulling this bat out of the wrapper, I just turn the video off. I've swung a lot of bats, guys. There's only a handful of bats ever made that are hot out of the wrapper, right? Hell, even our OG is hot out of the wrapper. But it's going to take me 30 swings, 40 swings to get it there. You guys don't want to see me swinging that thing 30 or 40 times, right? You want to see the final. You want to see what it is in its prime, right? You want to see when it's ready to go. When it's game ready, that's what I want to see. Future reference for you guys out there. I'll go back and I'll look at all these questions because I'm not going to get into that. I do want to talk about, before I get into the bats, I'm already getting here for, well, not bad, hour and a half, hour and 5 minutes. So my food's ready. That's the reason I'm going to probably get irritable if I get into this about another hour. So just bear with me if I do get cranky. It's because my food is sitting on the other side. That wall right there. I do, and I kind of go back and forth when it comes to this. These are just questions that I heard. Not on Short Porch, which I know Short Porch does it, but I see other bat companies, and somebody will chime in and go, why do I see a lot of, I'm not going to say their name, this unknown bat company selling a lot of their product, right? All I see is their product being sold. Is that a red flag? It's not a red flag, right? It just means that their reps are busting ass for them and they're selling a lot of product. Or maybe they got some more reps that are going to go in each state or whatever, and they're just selling a lot of their product. It's not a red flag like they're trying to dump the bat. It usually never is. It just means that they have a lot of reps out there, which I think in the United States and abroad too, I mean, everywhere, they have reps that actually push these products. What shows a good rep is if he's pushing a lot of the product. And people need to not think that, oh my God, they're trying to dump it. No, it doesn't work. That's not usually, I'm not saying that's never happened, but I'm just saying the majority of the time you have good reps out there that are trying to push the product that they like, product that they're repping for, because they got to make money. So they're actually pushing that product to make money. It's not because they're trying to dump the product. I keep seeing that every once in a while on Facebook. I just want to address it. It means that they have good reps that want to do this. I know our guys are out there busting their ass every day, putting out video every day, doing Facebook Live on Rachel Good on her softball game. That's another thing too. You got to have balls. Sorry, Rachel, but you got to have balls to want to videotape your game, because that's leaving it out there, bud. You can have a bad game and people are watching that, right? So you got to have, let me tell you a story too. I've actually played for teams that didn't like it, that didn't like me doing Facebook Live or didn't like me videotaping, because I would videotape more than I did Facebook Live, because a lot of times Facebook Live, you cannot do it at these big ballparks because they actually block you from doing it, because they have their own. They want you to buy into their own. So what they'll do is, if you're running a live video, through Wi-Fi, they'll cut you. They'll get you out of there. They'll kind of disturb the system or whatever. So I would videotape all of my stuff, right? And that's putting everybody on that team on the line. You have a bad game, that's on video forever. So I did play with some teams in the past that didn't like it. They would never tell me, but you can always tell. Like, I actually said one time in a huddle, I said, tell you what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to take the camera away. I'm going to let it take the camera away where there's nobody, any pressure going up there going, oh shit, this is going to be on video. So Rachel videotaping all of her games. I like it because I get to see my girls out there hitting. So I like watching that, but I don't judge anybody. I've been there too. I went 0 for 4, 1 for 3, or, I've done that too. So it's no big deal, when it comes to that, but definitely, videotape everything. Videotape your BPs, videotape your game. If you watching people, you would be surprised on the majority of people are like you, out there, with that same bat speed and just want to see you hit. It's no longer wanting to see the pros hit anymore. Oh yeah, that looks good, but okay, I'm out of it for 10 seconds and let's go to the average guy. Let's watch I would watch an average guy for 15 minutes instead of watching a pro guy hit for 5 seconds. You know, he's supposed to do that. You know, he's a freak. He's a freak. You know, so I'd rather watch. I would rather watch the average guys hit, even a home run hitting contest. I'm cheering for the little guy. So definitely a lot of reps. That's the one that it's not a red flag. It just means that you got good reps that are pushing your product. How many of you guys? I want everybody to answer this here that's watching this tonight. And I know people are going to watch it later. How many guys? I'm thinking about making a short porch Texas hat, short porch with Texas underneath it, and it will be for sale on our website. How many guys would buy it? Let me know. I do have a badass design. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I used to own a t-shirt company, a couple of them. T-shirt company, one in Denver, one in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I had one there too. And I would design all my stuff, and I like doing that shit. Every once in a while, gets me away from doing what I usually do. I do want to talk about, a couple other things, and I'll let you guys go. They're probably going to run it for 2 hours tonight. But I'm going to do Texas hats, and I know other people are out there that are going to do different. Like you got Gulf Coast doing theirs, West Coast doing theirs. So I figured I'd do a Texas hat too, but it will be sold on our website, Short Porch Baseball Company. I don't have anything to do with collecting money from people and getting them, shipping them out. It's just, I'm doing way too much shit. Anyway, I do want to talk about testosterone for a few minutes, guys. If you're not, the one thing I will say, I'm not saying everybody needs to get on it, but what I am saying is go to your doctor, get checked, find out what your numbers are, and then ask questions. One thing a lot of you guys do not do is ask as much as you should when it comes to being at the doc. Testosterone, this is mine. This is my prescription. It's testosterone cyplinate. I just got this the other day. Comes in a little vial. I take one of these every 7 days, right? That brings my testosterone. I've got it down to a science. It brings my testosterone to about 825 is where I want to be. I've had doctors actually want me at 1100. I'm happy at 825. I don't have any side effects. My strength is there. My energy level is there. My brain fog is left. It's gone away. But the one thing, and I'm not going to get into it this as long, but you can do it intermuscular. With that, you can do it in your belly fat. Which is that my doc trying to get me to do it through my belly fat. Pinch and just stick it in there once every 3.5 days is what he wants me to do. I haven't jumped to that yet because the reason he's saying 3.5 days, because what happens when you take an injection of testosterone, it gives you that big surge when you're doing that 200 milligrams at 1 cc. It'll give you that big surge, and then it starts to come down, right? On your day number, 7 or 8, it's usually going down lower than what it started with. So he wants me to do it every 3.5 days. That way you get that big surge and it stays there for a long time and it doesn't come down. Do your research. Do your research and talk to your doctor. If you're symptomatic, let me give you numbers here. You're symptomatic at 400. I was symptomatic at 400. I got my testosterone down. When they first started giving me a prescription for it, I got it down to 306. I didn't try to get it down, but it went down a year later to 306. They put me on it. Now I'm hearing right now, they're trying to get you down, the VA especially, trying to get you down under 200 for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They'll test you on the first week. And if you're under 200, you got to be under 200 again on the third week. And they test you again. That's bullshit, in my opinion. And once you get on it, you got to stay on it. It actually shrinks you up. Your boys, it shrinks you up. So you don't, which is a good thing, not a bad thing. but it shrinks you up, and your boys don't produce it anymore. So they're there and they just shrink up on you. A very good thing, not a bad thing. Helps with the Kevlar, the way it fits. The T-back actually helps it fit a lot better. So definitely, guys, get your T levels checked. BPC, I keep talking about this because I'm going to go pick up some tomorrow, and it's a different kind. Robert, that's way low, buddy. I was too. I say what you say was. So I hope you got it higher. You're at 204, and they want you at 800. I want you at 800. Look how you're going to feel at 800. You know how many guys have called me, text me, and said, Dave, thank you so much for talking to me about testosterone, because I'm a different person now. I think better. I don't get tired. My energy level's back. You know, I want to do shit now. I want to go to tournaments. I get my ass off the couch. I'm doing stuff with my wife now, you know, going to the mall with her. So definitely. BPC 157, TB 500. I'm going to pick up some stuff in the morning. I'm still taking it. I freaking love it. Yes, I love it. It's BPC 157. I'll do a whole review on that in the next couple of weeks. But definitely, we'll talk that. I've got a time in here, John. I'm going to talk about this whenever I get to it. We're out of stock on balls. I'm trying to get into that stuff right now. Guys, before I get into that, how many guys, on everybody across the board, being seniors and UTRIP and ASA, how many of you guys pick a bat because of color? How many of you guys pick a bat? I'm going to tell you what the number is, but how many of you guys out there will pick a bat because it looks good? You don't give a shit about performance. You just want to pick a bat because it looks good. Anybody got a clue on how many guys out there, men and women, will not give a rat's ass about performance, but they'll go out there and pick a bat because it looks pretty? 60%. 60%, guys, will pick a bat because it looks good. I knew that. I didn't know it was 60%, but I heard that shit, and I'm like, I would pick up a bat. Okay, prime example is my first signature bat. That wasn't a pretty bat. Bob, you need to back off a little bit. Bob said he's at 1,500. You need to back up a little bit, Bob. Whoa. Just back up a little bit. Chad, what did you say? Anyway, I need to quit reading you guys shit because you're talking to each other and I don't know what you're saying. Anyway, 60% of you guys will pick a bat. What did he say? Marty, what did he say? Remember what Bubba Blake said on your video? I don't remember. He said a lot of my videos. So, prime example was my bat, the first SUP bat that came out. It was plain Jane. It was just it didn't have any barrel paint on it, you know, on purpose. I did it that way, and that bat sold shit. That bat sold out. I think it took like 4 days, 5 days for it to sell out, and that bat sold out. But then again, it was something that I put together, last minute kind of shit, but I put it together, and it's actually one of the best bats that I think I put together. One coming up in the next couple of months, it'll blow your socks off, but constantly getting better, finding out. The one thing about building bats, guys, with Jeff and Leslie and all, Christian, everybody, is you get better after every bat that you buy or every bat that you built, right? So you find out these different ways of making it better, you know, because of the stuff you're doing already. So everything, when we say our next one's going to be better, it's the truth, because we're going down a different pathway or found out different things to help with the performance or the durability, you know, to keep the performance with the durability like we did with the OG. And that actually is working out really good. Our softballs are out of stock. 60% of guys, I heard somebody chime in. I think somebody said set Bob down. 70% and 60% will buy bats just because I think it's 62% is what I see, Bob, but will buy a bat because they think it looks pretty. And it usually doesn't last long, especially when you get out there and you start swinging it. If it's not as good, that only lasts a certain amount of time anyway. You're going to notice it, that I've experienced in the past. So that's never been really. I would swing a bat with no paint on it. I have bat with no paint on it because I thought it performed. It didn't give a rat's ass how pretty it looked, but I know a lot of people out there like the way it performs if they think it looks pretty. We're out of balls. We got a shipment coming in. We just don't know. It's hung up in tariff. It's hung up in not tariff, but it's hung up in customs, basically, because all the shit. But yeah, that sub bat was a badass bat. There are people actually asking me for that bat right now. As we, two people text me today and asked me. I have one. It's upstairs. It's going to the grandkids. It's going to be out there. I have all my bats that I have my name on are upstairs and behind the bed, not up on the wall. It's just sitting there for the grandkids later on. Okay, guys, I want to talk about something before I get into anything else here. I'm going to talk about that after I announce what's going on with these bats. We have two bats, and they're already being shown out there, and they're DDTs. And I'm going to talk about the DDT in a minute. That's like I'm going to have John on here. I'm going to talk about the DDTs in a John Robbins, my brother. He said something that is 100% right, and I do agree with this. More graphics means more weight. Yes, and more graphics means more constriction on the barrel. That's how come that first bat. If you guys will notice going forward, I will not have on any of my signature bats, I will not have graphics all over the barrel. Because I talked to Jeff about this last year too. I said, because that's where that bat didn't have any restriction. So what graphics do, in my opinion, and apparently John's opinion, is graphics tend to not let that barrel flex that much. For me hitting a lot of bats, I came up with that theory, like these bats would perform better if you didn't have that much on it. There are other, I won't talk about those. But anyway, I think that too much graphics adds weight, which is not a bad thing, but it does add weight, and it can restrict a flex of a wall of the carbon. So that's just me thinking. I tested it. I took a composite bat about 12 years ago, and I sanded it down, took all the graphics on it, like night and day. Well, not really night and day. I think I got like 10, 15 feet further. Exit velo was through the roof, gained a little bit more miles per hour. I'm not saying 5 or 10. I'm just saying 3. I think I picked up 3 miles an hour on it because I didn't I didn't shave. That's a bad word. But I actually sanded the barrel of it and took all the graphics off of it and tested it, You cannot gain knowledge unless you're doing this shit for a long time and test things, right? And see if it works. You come up with a theory, right? Will it work? And then you see if it works. And I'm walking right into what I'm going to talk about here too. So we had 2 bats that will be released they hit it today. I'm getting mine shipped into me tomorrow. And I'm going to get the U-Trip one to Clem. And then I've got the Allen Hancock. They're the Jawbreakers. And if you guys saw that, I don't even know if I can pull it up. You guys could see it. But they have a picture. If you guys see this, they have a picture of these bats. And you guys can see it right there. Just those came in today. And they're already being sent out to a few people out there. Jeff will be doing Facebook Live tomorrow with them. He's going somewhere to hit with them, and he's going to be doing Facebook Live. Those are DDTs. Now, that goes right into what I'm going to talk about here, and try to tell that story again, but not really get too far into it. The DDT is a design that Senior Softball Bat Reviews came up with as a group of people that brainstormed, right? And it was just a theory, like I'm talking about. You can always have a theory, but unless you put it to pen and paper, or unless you put it to, you start building it, you don't know. It's just something you're going to throw out there. Hey, this might work. Let's go ahead and do this. So yeah, Dennis, that's funny. So Dennis, you're such a dick, man. And I wasn't trying to be a dick to him. I know Dennis. Dennis is a friend of mine, and he's a shit starter. So that's how come I said that he's a dick. So what happened with that theory was we came up with a theory 12 years ago. I think we're walking into 12 years about a bat that would be loaded different, more like a mid-load. But here's the deal. A lot of people would call their bats mid-load, but they were not mid-loads, because I know that because I cut every bat open that we swung. So I would see, if you're going to lie, I want to see if you're lying. So we would crack bats and we'd cut them open. Oh, you call this bat a mid-load, but you have no mid-load in it. So I don't know if they didn't have the technology to do a mid-load back then, or if anybody tried it and it didn't work for them because of the material and they just threw it to the side. So we came up, Senior Softball Bat Reviews came up with a lot of people talking. And we said, what if you put weight here? And when I show you this bat, guys, this is for informational stuff. I did this to this bat. I actually pulled this out. So this is the DDT. This is one of the first DDTs we put out. So what we did was, what if you put weight right in here and you put weight here? So you took 3 ounces out of here. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but usually in the end of a 26-ounce bat, it's got 3 ounces. And it could be 3 ounces here to here or 3 ounces here. It all depends on what kind of plug you put in it, right? So our idea was, what if you took 1.5 ounces out of here, or even 1 ounce, and put it into here? So you have dual distribution. You have 2 weights working to flex that barrel. 2 weights, one here and one here. So when I got this, I did this because I wanted, on my scale, I wanted to test to see how much weight was here and how much weight was here. So I put it on a scale to weigh it, right? You have 10 ounces here and 11 ounces here. So it does have weight here, right? So I wanted to make sure of that. I haven't yet split this bat open yet, but we do have a patent on this too. We do have a patent on this, right? It was designed by Christian and Jeff Kessler, going to Vegas last year, and it was put into this bat right here. So you have a hand weight coming out of here, and you have dual distribution. This bat right here, and all the DDTs are flying, guys. And we did not know what it was going to do, because it's a new theory. So when you start testing out a new theory, there are so many things that it can take you down a road that were good things when it came to this DDT. So it's good things that it actually helped this bat. So you have 11 ounces here and you got 10 ounces here. And I'm not saying they're exact 11 ounces. I'm just saying, because that's such short, it could add weight, but you still have weight through the barrel, right? And what happens when they built the DDT, one of the things that happened was all the energy stays in that barrel. It's not absorbed through this part, like it stops. Well, what happens when you have energy, when you have a ball strike, it has energy, it stays in the barrel. It doesn't go in through your hands. So it doesn't absorb through this and goes through that connection and rattles your hands. We get no feedback from swinging a DDT. So you have it all right here. And we found out that having energy in the barrel is good. You don't want it to go into the hands. You don't want it to escape. When you talk about energy, you want it to stay in the barrel. That's one thing that actually makes it better. Another thing too is it swings so fluid, and in my opinion, it swings better than any one piece out there, because of DDT, any two-piece out there because you have dual distribution, right? You're swinging two weights and you're striking an object. You're striking an object and you have two weights. And I found out that our consistency was better because we do hit a lot of balls. We're just not blowing and going. So when we do test, because here's the deal too, when we test bats, we did this with senior softball bat reviews too. When we would test bats, we would test them not only for power with senior softball bat reviews, we would test them for how consistent are we hitting that bat. So when you had my top 5 or you had my top 10 when I was doing senior softball bat reviews, usually my top 5 was more consistent than my bottom. Well, my top 5 at the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that was more consistent than my 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have my hunting guys texting me. I showed them some pictures today. So I got to wait for that to go up. There you go. So what we found out with my top 5, with they're more consistent, we got better control, less barrel drop. And I talked about this in the past too. It just wasn't, when you're doing bat reviews, it just wasn't blowing and going, because we would test all the bats that we did for see what our consistency was. The one thing we got with the DDT across the line was we got better consistency. Batting average went up. And I'm not saying we got 50 points better or 50% better. I'm just 50 points better. I'm just saying mine raised with my DDT 30%. 30%, guys. My batting average raised with my DDT because I got that fluid swing. My girls, too, talked to me about this. Zena talked to me about this. She hits the ball more consistent. Tammy hits the ball more consistent. That's another thing. So it's something to do with the dual weight distribution in the DDT that you feel, it feels a lot of, you feel so good swinging it like you can hit anything, right? You're not having big barrel drop on it because everybody's used to that. Everybody that's ever swung, and nobody else has a DDT. It's something that's new. Nobody else has built a bat like this. It's something that's new. Instead of having weight here and weight here, you now just have weight there. I'm not saying in this bat. I'm talking about the DDT. So you're just not swinging something that has weight so far away from each other. This one has it 12 inches, 13 inches. Now, you get more consistent with this bat. Now, the one thing, John's up here talking. I'm not going to read everything he says because he's going to go off, because I felt something, but I did not want to say it. And actually, John was the guinea pig for this. John Robbins is the guinea pig for this, unknowingly. But what I got, and John verified it, Robbins, was you hit shitty balls really good with this bat. You hit low compression balls really good with this bat. You hit the new, SSUSA, what are they called? I'll just call them shit ball. You hit that shit ball, that one that turns orange. And guys, you got to agree with me. That is a shit ball. Zena told me, try to hit a ladies ball. And I'm not going to call out the ball company. And SSUSA, try to hit a ladies ball in SSUSA. Why do you think Zena, ask Zena this, why do you think Zena went to the orange juice DDT when she's hitting in California, when she was hitting on SSUSA tournaments? Because that women's ball is shit. She got a better performance off the DDT hitting that ladies ball. So I write all this shit down. And then John called me the other day. I didn't tell John shit. John called me the day, and I like talking to John, but he wears me out, man. We're on the phone for an hour and a half. And he goes, do you get it? Because he's a freak. He's one of those guys that thinks way too much. And he goes down these rabbit holes a lot of times where I got to bring him back. Oh, whoa. Bring it back. Come on back up here, John. And yeah. Yeah, good hitters can hit any ball. But, okay, we're not talking about good hitters, Ron. You're top 1%. You can hit anything, but my audience is AA and AAA, Ron. It's not good hitters. I mean, I'm not saying everybody is. I'm talking about the bottom 99%, not you. So what you have is John Robbins called me up the other day, and he says, "Hey, bud, you noticed that you hit shit balls with this bat pretty good?" And I said, "Exactly. I see that a lot. I see that we hit balls that are, 52 300s. You know, we hit them really good with this bat. So I I think that is one of the things with the DDT that actually helps. We have 2 of them that are out right now. You have more consistency with the DDT. This is what I see. The one thing that I will tell you guys too, if you pick it up and think it's going to swing like a regular 2-piece or a regular 1-piece, you're mistaken, because we're talking about 2 different weights in a barrel that you've never swung before. I would suggest, if you're going to go to a DDT, to stay with it. Maybe get you 2 of them. You can't jump. This is one thing too. You can ask Clem and Trey about this too, that hit with us. You can't jump back and forth. You can't go. It's so hard, because once you get used to swinging the DDT, you'll go to a Trey. Trey didn't like it because he would hit the DDT good after like the 10th swing. And then what he would do is he had his own bat. So he'd jump back to that. And it would take him about 10 swings to get used to that bat. And usually if you hit a lot of bats, it doesn't take that long. You can take you 3 or 4 swings, but it just takes longer with the DDT when you're going back and forth, because it does swing different. It's more of a barrel gets through there fast. Barrel gets through the zone pretty fast. Another thing too that we saw, and John saw this too, is if you push middle, you go oppo, you know, if you hit the ball in that area, not that area, but if you hit the ball in that middle, you know, right over shortstop all the way to the middle, you get tremendous performance because of the way the barrel's built. So you're actually having a barrel. A lot of times you can't use your hips when you hit that ball that way, right? You can use your hips pulling out on a ball that's inside. So that's where you can get your torque from. But what this bat does for you is you're using the barrel to get performance. You're not using your hip. You can't open your hips when you're going out and getting a ball to go center, or hit it up to center, or hit it up in the power alley, right? You're using your hips to hit that ball when you pull it. This bat, guys, you hit it. If you're one of those guys, and I actually picked out the guys that actually I think would benefit from this bat. I had John Rendon, you know, and I know there were different bat companies. They're just friends of mine. Chino Rodriguez, because the way Chino swings, he pushes the ball, right? So that dual distribution would actually help him a lot more. I know guys, you know, Tommy Clark, you know, it's another one too. He swings a different bat. You know, he's not sponsored by anybody, but he's a hell of a hitter too. Those are different, you know, John Roach, you know, there's another one, hits the ball up the middle with power. And those guys would benefit from a DDT. And we have 2 of them. I don't have them with me because they're being overnight, no, you know, Ron Yeager's John backpedal right now. B. Murray's at top 1%. You are top 1%, Ron. Make no mistake out of that one. But this bat I'm glad that you know, you got Alan Hancock coming out with his Jawbreaker. Then you have our U-Trip bat coming out in its Jawbreaker. And I cannot wait to get those bat and swing them. I do want to get a lot of video when it comes out next week. When it comes out next week, especially Alan Hancock's bat. Those will go up next. I think they already put it out there next Wednesday. They at 1:00 in the afternoon. They'll start to be on sale through the website, and I think Headbanger, no, not Headbanger. I think Smash It Sports, maybe Headbanger might have some too, but Smash It Sports definitely will have some. I have some going out to a few bat review people out there. I think our usual guys that we send bats to will get them. Jesse from BP Hero, I definitely talked to him yesterday and actually today too, and he's going to get some of the U-Trip bats. Jesse wants to start doing senior bats too, so he asked me if I can get those to him. But we've got bats that are coming out on Tuesday. We'll talk about those later too. One of the milkshake, the banana milkshake, is coming out next. I just dropped that. Banana milkshake is coming out next Tuesday too. Because here's the deal, guys. We're going live on Wednesday, and there's the milkshake and the chicken, hot chicken. Everybody loves that bat. The milkshake, everybody loves that bat too. and that those bats will be out on next Tuesday. But we'll talk more about those later. So definitely stay tuned. I've been an hour and 35. That's not bad, guys. And I've talked about mostly everything tonight. I did want to address the DDT, and John Robbins is a buddy of mine. I know he has that. John, let everybody know when you're hitting again. And then he has that hitting club. This is another thing too, man. And I've talked about this, about viewership, and I've talked about engaging, right? We had 800,000 senior softball players last year. This year, 1.5 million, I think, is what it is. We're growing. That's a big growth, you guys. That's a big growth of people out there. I think the more hitting clubs that you can get. I know back in the day, I always say that back in the day, 15 years ago, they had a big one here in San Antonio, but as they get older, a lot of seniors aren't going out. Those guys were in anywhere from 50 to 85 years old out there hitting in that hitting club. And they would basically pitch in and buy balls and, pitching screens and stuff like that. I think what John's doing is, is a great service. I met John at the Woodlawn Hitting Club. It was about 3 years ago, John, and talked to him eating breakfast in the morning after we hit there. And then one thing about John, he likes to, there you go, John. He likes to hit a lot, and it doesn't matter. He has everybody out there hitting. Doesn't matter if you're swinging Short Porch or Suncoast or Mike and Rawlings or whatever. Everybody's out there hitting, and he doesn't care. He likes talking to people about different things too. But I'm still trying to get him to get everybody on board. And he's got a bat tester. You guys want to take bats out to him and get him to test your bats. And another thing too, I think this is just me. I think if you're going to have a hitting club, you got to have a bat tester. That way people can show up, find out what their numbers are, and just get out there and hit a lot and talk. And John knows this, you got to have friends like this that enjoy the things that you enjoy, and brainstorm, stimulate the brain, go out to eat afterwards. And that's what they would do here in San Antonio, is go out to eat afterwards. They actually have two different hitting clubs here, 151 hitting club, and then they'll get out there and do it at that other softball field, but they're just not as big as they used to be. I think they have 10 instead of 30 now, during the prime time. But I think as long as we can get a lot of the guys who would go out and hit there with us didn't play games. They would just go out there just to hit, get an exercise in. They would shag balls in the outfield. Just get the energy level going, get the endurance up, and I think, guys, if it's going to add, 5 years to your life, 10 years to your life, good years, quality years, it's well worth it. And I think what John, you guys don't understand what John's doing here. It's actually helping a lot of people out. And, David from Woodlawn Hitting Club, you have Bear comes in there every once in a while. Ken Vanbergard, which he was a good friend of mine. Talked to him the other day. He actually reached out to me when I first got senior softball bat reviews going, and talked to me a little bit on the phone. He's the one who reached out to me during COVID and said, we start putting out video, for all the seniors. So he is engaged. Ken is engaged with trying to get product out there for everybody to better their game and keep them hitting. He's actually trying to make a comeback to start playing again. I think he's 71, 72 years old. Might be 72. He's going to be 72 this year. And his son still hits with him too. So definitely, guys, I'm going to get off right now. You guys got any questions? I'm going to go through here, ask them, and I will address them on next Friday, not really next Wednesday, because we got a lot of bat drops going on by next Wednesday we're going to talk about. So I'll probably have Jeff on early next Wednesday, and I can't get to a lot of stuff I want to talk about and we can get into. I just want to talk about the DDTs, on how they're performing and who it better fits, because that's what we're doing. We'll talk more about other bats coming in next week on what who those bats better fit. Who bats they better fit, so that's basically, I wanted to take a little long because John Robbins had talked to me about his experiences with the DDT, and I kind of wanted, and how many swings you got on this DDT, John? You told me the other day 1,500 or something. You got on that with his swing. He's got 1,500 on it. So definitely reach out to John, guys. He's on here. Contact him on. You guys want to hit up there? Contact him on Facebook Messenger, and then see where he's going to be at when he hits, and you guys can go out there and take some swings in, gain some knowledge, and just get out there and maybe get a friend or two, or just talk to somebody that, just get out of the house is what I'm trying to say, and get some exercise in. Thanks, God.